Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live. Once again, I am your host, Josh Lilquist. On the last segment, we covered some different topics as far as the news, how we don't trade based off of the news, just based off of the clues that are in the financial markets. We had CPI data that rocked the market on Wednesday to the downside after we've seen some great strength to the upside for quite some time. Matter of fact, on a daily chart, we are just finally seeing again a daily downtrend starting. So that could be an opportunity for some people that understand how to have strategies for up markets and those down markets. And we discussed that in those investing classes that we do live here at the Academy. We call the show Investing and Trading Live. That's what we do. We talk about live market action in these investing classes. To come into one of these classes, we do these classes here right in Bloomington. We also have these classes all across the metro. That way you can attend anywhere that makes more sense for you. Simply just text the word investing to the number 210, and that's for 2 seats, one for you and one for a friend. Also, make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. That's Investing and Trading Live on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. So, Al, in this next segment here, I know you want to talk a little bit about where prices change. And that's where you find the least risk, the highest reward, and the highest probability entry points. And that's usually at or near a turn in price. I know you want to talk about that, but I want to give talk a little bit about what you were talking about earlier with insurance. You know, insurance is getting more expensive. That what you said, I think that was part of the reason for the CPI.
That's correct.
For inflation to continue to creep up to the upside. I think your quote was sticky.
It's sticky.
So just think about this example here of when people want to get in shape. Okay, what do most people do? They go walking. Maybe they start walking, or maybe they start to run, or they do some weight training. And most people don't really know how to do that, but you go and you go try it out. And then some people just quit after a little while because they don't know what they're doing, or they're not as motivated anymore. But it's just lack of knowledge on how to do that. But the knowledge is out there. The knowledge is there. You can read a book, you can watch a YouTube video on how to get in shape. But it's actually a skill, right? It's a skill on what to do, how to eat right, and there's a formula or a strategy to do that. We can call that a strategy. Now, if you don't know what to do, what a lot of people will do, which is very smart, they get a trainer. They go to a local gym or a health club. They get a trainer, and they're taught how to do certain things. Here's your workout plan for over the next three months. Here is your eating. Here is the calories you should be eating, and the structure of that, and the amount of fat you should be having. And there's actually a health plan to get healthy. And it's not just working out. And if you think about that, Al, it's very similar to the financial markets. A lot of people don't know what to do, so they go try it out on their own. And they say, oh, I'm going to go buy a stock, and because, I like this stock because it has a cool product. And, they do it for a little bit, and if it doesn't work out to their favor, they get less interested in it. And they say, oh, it's not for me, and they move on. Well, that's unfortunately what a lot of people do, because the knowledge is actually out there as well. You can find any knowledge on the financial markets online, but the knowledge won't help you actually do it, very similar to physical fitness. The knowledge is there, but you got to do it. So people in the physical fitness industry, or people that want to get healthy, they get a trainer. The people that want to do well financially get a coach. They get a coach, and they get trained on how price actually works, where to buy, where to sell. And that kind of gets into what you wanted to talk about, is when prices change, whether you want to be a buyer or a seller. You always want to put low risk, high reward, high probability entry points in the markets. But if you've never been trained on how to do that properly, it's just a guess. I want you to discuss that.
And that's what most people are doing. They are guessing and hoping. Those are the two components of most people's investment strategy. And by the way, neither one of those are a strategy. But yeah, you mentioned a coach or a trainer. If you are looking at changing yourself physically, getting more healthy, you go to a trainer. The trainer doesn't work out and then that automatically makes you healthier. The trainer teaches you how to work out, right?
True.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
a good
same
point.
thing in trading and investing. A lot of people give their money to somebody and just hope. They're putting faith in the fact that that person is going to do the right thing for them. I can tell you that we see a lot of people coming into these classes that you're going to be talking about and have talked about today that have said, I did that. I gave my money to an advisor and I ended up losing money. I'm not getting the kind of returns that I feel I should get. I'm not getting the kind of returns that other people are getting. So the best person to really take full control over and have the greatest amount of concern over your assets is you. The trainers are out there. That's what we do. We provide these people that are professionals that they trade this market. They live this market. Those are the kind of people you want to learn from. But what they do, they teach a strategy that is part of a plan. And a plan is something you need. It's like baking a cake. You have to have a recipe to bake a cake. If you're going to build a building, you have to have a blueprint, a plan, in other words. Doctors, when they diagnose somebody, they put a plan together, a treatment plan. Same thing is true in trading and investing. And that plan needs to do basically what I said before. It needs to show you when price is going to change and where is it going to go, regardless of what you're trading or investing. And here's the truth. These markets are so random and chaotic that a lot of the movements are non-predictable. But there's always going to be price moves that are not random, that are deliberately created by sources with enough money to make price move. And those are the kinds of things you want to identify. Nobody is ever going to have something that will identify every possible trade or investment every day. It's not possible.
Basically, there's what you're saying is there's no secret sauce.
There is no secret sauce, but there is a way of identifying something that is repeatable and it is reliable, and that's price movement created by big institutions. And think about it. If anybody listening, do you feel that the big firms out there, the professional traders, the hedge fund managers, the firms like Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, do you think that they are getting the same kind of returns that the public is getting? And if not, are they doing something different? Well, they are, but it's not anything different than you can do. They just don't want you to know how to do it. But what they're doing with the size of of their portfolios, the money that they have to invest. Let's take a person like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett can put positions together that maybe are in the billions of dollars. He has done that, where he'll put maybe $10-15 billion into one position. The great thing for us is that people like Warren Buffett, the big firms, when they trade, they're showing us things. They're leaving clues on a price chart that we can take advantage of if you have a strategy that knows how to identify where those places are. Whenever you see a major price move, and a change in direction especially, it's caused by institutional activity. So if you can identify that and then also identify how far the price is going to go in that direction, that's your profit. Those are the two components that you really need to have to be successful. That's what our core strategy does. It is a strategy, a timing strategy. In other words, it times your entry and your exits in any kind of position that you're going to do. It's a rules-based strategy, a step-by-step process that really takes as much as possible your human emotions out of your decisions. Because if you let your emotions get involved, 100%, there's not many things in life that are guaranteed. Yeah, death, taxes, and the impact of your emotions on your trading. So you have to control those emotions. The only way you can do that really reliably and consistently is to follow a set of rules that have been put together by people that know what moves the price of any investment, any financial instrument.
It's all about those steps and those rules and understanding what those clues are in the financial markets. And I got a question for all of our listeners. Do you have an investment plan? If you don't, if that answer is no, it might be time or an opportunity to start that plan. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how much money you have, or how smart you are. If you have an investment plan, that just adds an odd in your favor. If you want to understand what those investment plans are and how to add those odds that Al is talking about, simply come into one of these investing classes just by texting the word investing to the number 210, and that's for 2 seats, one for you and one for a friend. We do these classes here right in Bloomington and across the metro, so that way you can go wherever that makes more sense for you. Text investing to the number 210. Now, Al, I did mention something a little bit ago, and I wanted to correct myself because I made an incorrect statement. I did mention that there is no secret sauce out there. That was incorrect. There is. There is one person that has the secret sauce out there. Grandma. Grandma always has the secret sauce. Whatever Grandma cooks, it is always on point. It is the best thing you have ever eaten. So I
never question Grandma.
I just wanted to correct myself there. Grandma has the secret sauce.
Did your grandma call in, by the way, during the break?
She called in and said, "You know what, Josh?" By the way, she doesn't talk like that. But so that being said, Al, if you're new to the financial markets, some of the things we're talking about, people aren't comfortable getting started if they've never done it before. Just like sometimes people aren't comfortable getting in shape or going to the gym because they feel overwhelmed. Oh, there's going to be people that are in such good shape and I just don't know what to do. Right. Is that the same thing for the financial markets? Probably.
Yes.
But how do you help people become comfortable?
Well, number one, we help them be comfortable by showing them how you can address these markets, what the opportunities are. And the real key to being successful, just like I almost hate to reuse the word casino because a lot of people say, well, investing is gambling, but it's the casino, it's the house. You want to emulate the house. And the house always puts the odds in their favor. And they do that by setting the rules. So again, getting back to your plan, that should have a set of rules that you follow, but you have to put the odds in your favor of being right. I mentioned this market is chaotic, it's random, a lot of the movement is unpredictable. You can't control everything that happens, but there are things that do happen on, as I mentioned before, a reliable or repeatable basis. This is Wall Street, that's a multi-trillion-dollar business, and there are a lot of firms that are making a lot of money taking advantage of what the opportunities are. And in many cases, they don't want the public to know what those opportunities are because they want the public to feel they need them. We talk a lot about, the fallacies out there and how people have been conditioned to believe that this is too complicated. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough time. All of those things which we lay bare. We kind of show you why those things are not true and how almost anybody out there can take advantage of what is happening in the markets. There are opportunities that are being created every day. And if you understand what those opportunities are, and again, how to identify what moves price, you have you can put the odds in your favor of being successful. Because when you think about it, if you buy something, if you buy a stock, if you buy a mutual fund, you want the price to go up for you to benefit. So if you could identify, number one, when it was going to go up and then how far it was going to go to determine what your profit is, that puts the odds in your favor of being successful. Josh, we talk about a plan. Josh, I think in the last segment or earlier in this segment, you asked people, you said, do you have a plan? Well, if you have a plan, ask yourself this: does that plan address the right entry price? Does it address your profit? And does it address a loss? In other words, are you protected? Is there a way for your plan to protect you from market corrections or market crashes? If not, you don't have a proper plan. Does your plan also take into consideration profit? So you take a profit when it appears instead of just holding on to something for a number of years, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and then hoping that there's a profit there. Yep. Those are components that a good plan should have. Unfortunately, most people's plans don't consider those three things.
Correct. It all starts with the knowledge and then building that skill. So let's talk about the knowledge part first. We're doing that here. And then it's hands-on of a learning environment or an academy to learn how to do those different things or understand what those techniques and concepts are. It starts with one of our free investing classes right here in Bloomington or somewhere else in the metro here. You can simply come in one of these classes by texting the word investing to the number 210-210. That's for 2 seats, one for you and one for a friend. Text investing to the number 210-210 for a free investing class and a financial quick start kit. That will help you get started right away. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. So, Al, you mentioned how to get in, how to get out of positions. Let's talk about how to be efficient with your capital as well coming up in the next segment. This is Josh and Al. We will be right back.